Good morning. It's Wednesday, the 29th of June. This is Talking Bull. It's Jamie and Steve here with you. How is everyone this morning? All good,
Good.
Jamie?
Yeah, no, all good. Thanks, all good.
You looked a little bit
Um,
shocked there. Did you think something funny was going on?
no, I was a little bit confused. You said, "How is everyone?" I was looking around and there's still no Joe. He's not here. It's just me. But I'm,
Uh,
yes, I'm well. I'm having a look at some charts. Looks like we had a pretty decent sell-off on a lot of the stocks I'm looking at today. So
yeah,
be interesting to have a look at, see what levels we're at today.
it seems to be a lot, quite the norm actually. Sell-off in stocks and things like that we're talking about. Let's
Yeah.
dive into the news headlines to start off with. US consumer confidence dips to 98.7 for June from 103.2 the previous month, which was below expectations of 100. Consumers were still confident over the labour market, but expected conditions would deteriorate over the next few months. New York Fed President Williams stated that the central bank needed to get real interest rates above zero, and it is reasonable to get to a Fed funds rate of 3.5% to 4%. As far as the July rate decision is concerned, he noted that the debate will be between a 50 to 75 basis point hike. ECB President Lagarde stated that the central bank will move gradually on raising interest rates if there's uncertainty over the outlook, but with the option to act decisively on any deterioration in medium-term inflation, especially if there's a de-anchoring of inflation expectations. She added that the bank would act in a determined and sustained manner to tackle record inflation. There was some evidence of corporate dollar buying on month-end grounds. Models have tended to indicate that there will be net month-end dollar buying over the next 36 hours. And equity markets came under renewed pressure, as Jamie just mentioned, pressure during Tuesday as confidence in the global economy deteriorated again. There was notable selling on the Nasdaq index with a decline of close to 3% on the day, which dragged wider indices lower. The dollar also secured net support on defensive grounds. And Scottish First Prime Minister Sturgeon stated that the government will publish an independence referendum bill that will be consultative with a proposed vote in October next year. Sturgeon also stated that the Supreme Court will be asked to rule on whether a referendum vote would be legal without approval from the UK government. And finally, Swedish Riksbank is expected to increase interest rates by 50 basis points. That's, between 50 and 75 basis points at Thursday's policy meeting. So that's tomorrow's policy meeting. We're going to dive straight into the crypto world and look at Bitcoin because there's a little bit of action this morning. We'll look at the daily chart and we are toying and with support. We've had 3 negative days after the bearish outside candle on the 26th. We saw negative price action Monday, Tuesday, and we're into the same Wednesday. If we look at the weekly chart, we can see just how important this level is. This was a previous all-time high way back on the 11th of December, 19666, and we're trading just above it at the moment. So looking to test that ever so slightly. This year's low has got down as far as 17,600. That looks like it could be challenged as early as today. 4-hour chart has topped out. We've got a potential for a double top after this reaction rally. We were given the bullish case was an inverse head and shoulders. This doesn't look to have played out yet. There's still potential. We still could have a right shoulder over here. So don't write it off just yet. But for me, if we do get a break of this, let's drag it there, this green line, the 19,743, that would be quite significant and signify for me a double top. Let's get the little arrows in there to show you where I'm taking this double top from. There we go, double top formation, breaker there, and potential for a sell-off, which will have a measured move target of whatever the we see the price is between here and here. Let's not extend that, and that'll
Going
give
right
us a
into the
measured move
previous low,
target.
isn't it? I think.
Yeah,
Look at that.
there we go. So targeting a move back down to that swing low we saw earlier this year. Looking at commodities, have a quick look at gold. Gold is under pressure, remains under pressure. Had my gun to head trade idea on this yesterday. That played out quite nicely. Taking a real look at the daily charts, we're under the 21-day moving average. We'll remain in this bearish channel. Still further downside to see. 1805, the next support. After that, we've got 1787 or 88, and then below that, 1781. So they're the levels to watch. If we recapture ground really above 1850, then that will be a little bit brighter for gold, but I can't see that at the moment. 3 days of positive price action in WTI crude oil, and we've stalled today and reversed from the highs. The highs 111.12, trading currently at 109.83. So stalling ever so slightly and a little bit of a pullback. On the 4-hour, we've topped out at the top of the Ichimoku cloud resistance. And you can see this is quite a significant level. We had lows here on the 2nd of June. We had lows on the 16th and highs on the 21st of June. So a real decision level, pivotal level, we'll call it. Looking at indices quickly, just going to dive into a few. Nasdaq, we just spoke about. Decent sell-off yesterday. We had this inverse head and shoulders played out and probably hit the actual measured move target. Let's see where that would have been. I think we talked about this the other day. So measured move target would be the head to the neckline, the break up. Oh no, stall just in front of the measured move target. It was 12,262. We got up to 12,228, only about 30 ticks short of the measured move target, but a decent reaction from that technical level. On the other side of the pond, we look at DAX Germany 40 now, and we see that it stalled again. Actually, was it this I sold? It might have been this.
I was going to say, it was this yesterday, Steve.
It was,
I think
yeah,
you had a nice,
sorry.
yeah, you finished
It wasn't
quite nicely on that one.
Yeah, so that sort of like had a little peak up, didn't quite get stopped out. I had the stop above this 27th of June, 9 o'clock high, and stalled in front of that, which was really nice from a technical perspective, and then continued lower. And in the last hour, we've seen a further sell-off, taking out yesterday's low, but it's bouncing back a little bit now. So that looks pretty negative to start with, to start the morning off on the stock side of things. Looking at Eurodollar, we've seen a nice little reaction in the last hour, but looking at the daily chart doesn't look too clever at all. Bearish engulfing candle after a shooting star candle. Price action stalling at that 21-day moving average and moving lower. The Ichimoku cloud obviously acting as resistance as well. So we managed to post a new high, a new sort of like multi-week high, and then the reversal came in, and dollar strength is evident now. That looks like it could continue. We've had a little bit of a reaction this morning, a little bit of a perk up since 8 o'clock, but plenty of resistance up here at the 105.40 area. If we can manage to get back down to the 104.86 and break that, we expect this bearish momentum to continue. Cable, similar sort of price action. We've had a little bit of a bounce off support at 121.74, resistance coming in at 122.13, trading at around about the midpoint of that. Further downside expected. This dollar strength looking likely to continue. Although the last, as I say, the last 10 minutes we've seen a nice little reversal on that move. So dollar index looking to hold around about 104.30 and later break up above 104.70. That's my take on it. Dollar yen again looking set to continue that amazing rally it's had. This is the weekly chart. This great impulsive move higher. Last week's price action looked a little bit flattening or stalling, but we seem to have kicked on and looking to target that high at 136.70, which was a high all the way back. Well, actually, we're above the highs all the way back there. So yeah, looking pretty promising from a dollar perspective. I think that's me covered off them assets. If you want to dive into the stocks and let us know
Yeah.
what not to look at, Jamie.
Well, if we're going to go by that metric, we're going to probably not be looking at a lot because there was some pretty bad moves all across the board yesterday. I mean, just looking at that at a glance, you can see it's pretty much all red on the percentages, except for energy. So our prices are going up and we are getting sadder. Starting off though, we'll look at our gainer and loser of the day. Our biggest loser is this Cognite software, which looks like an earnings miss. We'll have a quick look, but pretty negative price action for the last kind of half year. Really ever since its IPO, or at least the data we've got here, at about $38 and now trading at $4.58. Looking at this, let's see. I don't know why it's got Peloton. I'm not looking at Peloton. Let's try it one more time.
I've already looked at a Peloton this morning and it really hurt.
Yeah, this is pretty painful looking at it now. I think it's really struggling. Let's have a look. So this is CGNT, said nearly 29% after reporting surprise non-GAAP fiscal Q1 net loss of 0.79 dollars per share, compared with 0.20 per share profit during the same quarter last year. So yeah, just an earnings miss and looks to head lower. Pretty bad looking chart, that one. Our biggest gainer is this KZR, and I actually did look at this before we started, and I know there's going to be a problem with me explaining what happened, as there usually is with these health technology biotech stocks. Yeah, KZ Life Sciences up 43.43%. Actually was up a lot more initially, but sold off. Let's get the magnet on. But sold off throughout the session, so it was up 91% at one stage, and like I say, it sold off towards the lows of the day. Sadly, we're going to have to look at this, aren't we? Nearly 44% after late Monday reporting positive top-line results from phase 2 testing of its zetomipzomib drug
Nicely pronounced.
That was nice, wasn't it? You can see I practiced. With 6 to 17 patients with active lupus nephritis achieving a complete renal response, and the other 11 patients showing at least a 50% reduction. You can read it. It's there. Good stuff.
Yeah,
we like
that's
positive
pretty good.
drug trials.
That sounds like a decent results anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean it's good to see, isn't it? It's pretty positive stuff. But I think, I mean, I don't know too much about how these works, but so that's phase 2, so it's still got at least, is it 2 more phases before? And I think the phase
yeah,
3
I'm not
one is the
sure,
one that's the most
actually, yeah.
difficult. I don't know,
Yeah,
my brother would be laughing at me right now if he could see
yeah,
this,
probably.
but yeah, there's certainly more to go, but that's good stuff. We like drugs working well. All right, enough of that. Enough drug talk. Heat map, and then picture speaks 1,000 words kind of thing. All the big ones down multiple percentages. Apple 3, I mean they're all down 3. Amazon, Tesla down 5. Pretty rough day yesterday. Energy was up, like I said, so that's great. But we'll dig into some of these names a bit more, which I noted. Amazon, start with. We can get rid of this now. This was, I think we mentioned this idea was buying off these lows. It hit profit. We'll get rid of it because it's not looking so good now. Possibly forming a bit of a continuation head and shoulders at this stage. You can see that left shoulder head, possibly forming a right shoulder. But yeah, pretty nicely formation. We noted this dark cloud cover yesterday, and did have a pretty big sell-off during the session yesterday. So I'd be looking to target back these support levels here, about $100, which is also a psychological level. My bias would be, I think this kind of pattern we do see quite a lot. So we get the head, the right shoulder will, I'd have thought if we hit this today, I'd have thought we'll get a little bit of a bounce, but not much. Kind of amble around here for a bit, maybe a bit of sideways before we do get that decisive break a bit lower. Bit of a, you could also say it's a descending triangle if we do get that kind of price action, but we don't want to preempt it, but that's what I'd probably be expecting to happen here. Quickly look at Coinbase. Obviously crypto did struggle yesterday. We looked at this chart yesterday, noting it was down about 10% and another 8% down yesterday. These moves are happening in Coinbase pretty much every day. It's very volatile. Like I say, this key support level here about 46. I'm not sure why it's been taken off the chart. Let's put it on. Kind of around this level. I'll put this on a different screen. That's what I'm looking at. A break of that. Again, we're looking at a bit of a, you can see the highs are getting lower here, a bit of a resistance. would be looking for a break off that 46 level, I think. Costco, we also looked at saying it's coming into this previous support, and the resistance now, as the support turns into resistance, seems to have done a pretty good job. Down $13 yesterday, 2.7%, closing right at the low of the day's range. So would certainly be expecting at least a move back to this 450 level here. So yeah, not looking so hot there. Disney as well, I thought I'd quickly check out. This has been pretty horrible for a long time. We take it out to a weekly chart. We're almost down to pandemic lows, which is a pretty bad look. But that's a very key level if we do get there. This is the 61.8% fib. Let's draw out to monthly. Where does this fib even begin? Back in 2009, we've got this fib from. So this 61.8 fib, which is not far away now. What are we trading at? We're trading at 95.92. It's only $10 away. And if we do get a break of that, I would expect it to put up a bit of a fight. If we were to get a break, then yeah, potentially a lot more of an extended move in store on Disney, which wouldn't be so good. GME, we looked at this yesterday as well. Continued its sell-off after this really negative-looking outside day, down 4%. Google, similar story as Amazon, kind of, well, Google ran to a resistance, so this might have been a little bit of a nice trade. But yeah, again, down 3.3%. Bit of a reversal, resistance holding up pretty nicely. Moderna posting a shooting star at resistance, pretty negative for sentiment. Possibly get some good risk reward out of this. I might look to see if we can. What could we do with this? Kind of keep the stop just above that high. You can you get 2R out of it if you target these previous lows. Potentially not a bad little trade there. Neo resistance held up nicely. This bearish outside day we had on Monday into this shooting star doji type candle. We'll be looking to a move back down to this $20 level, I think, on Neo. Oh, I still got a lot. We'll only go through a couple more. Nike, I did have earnings yesterday or the evening before. Let's see what news we've got on Nike. There we go. Company news said that late Monday coronavirus bottlenecks Greater China with a. Okay, I don't know. But yeah, you can see a very wide-ranging bar here, which actually the range of it engulfed or how many days trading, like the previous week or two. So I'm sure if we click on the volume's going to, yeah, look at that, spiked up. That's a pretty negative-looking candle there, Steve, actually. Closing below this previous support as well. Looking at this in a weekly perspective, I mean, it's only Wednesday, so we've got 3 more days, but if we do end the week down at these levels, that would be pretty negative for me. And obviously this volume's only going to go up because we've only had 2 days trading. So if we get a close around here, the volume kind of comes up to, I don't know, above these previous levels. I think that's a bad looking sign for Nike. And then where do we go from there? Let's see what the Fibonacci retracements tell us. The 61.8 fib is what's been holding up right now. If we get a break of it, I think there's not a lot. Might be a bit of a support down at this 92, but I think the 78.6 will be the next port of call for Nike, which is about $20 lower. So potentially a little bit more of a tumble there for Nike, but we'll call it on stocks there. Yeah, I don't really know how to summarize it. Pretty, like I say, a pretty negative looking day. We've been saying this for the last few months now, that it's just kind of the rallies are all being sold into, and every time there's a glimmer of hope, it's pretty quickly taken away from us. But we'll see if we can get any follow through either way on these stocks.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Jamie. Right, we look at the next thing in the show, gun to head challenge, where myself and Jamie look at any assets we want and pick a trade live on air. Each idea must have a stop and target and enter at market. The trade ideas expire either at 9 p.m. or if they hit the stop or the target, and then we sort of mark the performance. So as we sort of mentioned, let's see if we can get a little bit of a view on what we did yesterday. Let me just share my screen. And we look at yesterday's ideas, and Jamie's idea.
Yeah, this isn't ideal.
It actually says buy in ESP, but I think you were selling it.
Oh, does
You,
it?
yeah, you wish you bought it
Ah,
initially.
you see,
Got
it was my
stopped out quite quickly.
subconscious. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
thought about this yesterday. I had a quick look when I saw we were rallying in indices because I know we both went short. That
Mm,
got stopped out after a couple of hours, and
yeah,
then went the right way. So a little bit unlucky. The stop was a little bit too tight, but
yeah.
yeah, good effort on that. Um, and the Germany 40, this played out yesterday, got sort of like 2/3 of the way towards the stop. So the stop was nicely placed, and we had a nice little move lower, and that closed. I don't know how we work it out. If we, well, it closed on
Um,
side, maybe just
yeah,
over
almost.
1R on
Yeah,
side. So nice little return there. So
yeah, nice stuff.
not too bad. We can show that to Joe when he gets back and show him how lovely and good we are. I don't know what you're looking at, Jamie. I'm sort of thinking of selling either gold or cryptos
Mm,
because we're at this sort of like quite key level.
yeah.
I feel like the cryptos or Bitcoin's really on the back foot. It's had numerous attempts to sustain a rally and hasn't managed to do it. But it's a pretty volatile beast, and you always got to give it a little bit, well, quite a lot of room on an intraday basis. Um, so yeah, I'm a little bit not sure. I might go for gold. Have you got anything lined up, or shall I?
Yeah, no, I can go. I can
Yeah,
go
go on.
if you want to have a little think. Right, let me pull up mine. So I'm looking at indices actually. I'm looking at the Nikkei. Um, and what I quite like about this is we've had this pretty extended downtrend. It was pretty aggressive. I think I actually managed to sell some of this up here on a trend line break. But anyway, we had this downtrend. We've rallied straight into the 61.8 fib, which is a level that's pretty much held up to the tick, which is pretty cool. It does show that those levels work. Um, but on the flip side of that, I'm going to do another Fibonacci. So get rid of that quickly. You've seen what I'm saying there. So my bias is to sell, and now I'm looking to sell actually targeting the 786 fib. Let's drill this down to a 1 hour chart. We had a break of this support level here, as you can see, the green support. We broke through it. It looks like the buyers are trying to rally, but this to me just gives me a better opportunity to tighten up my risk reward. So we're retesting this support, and I think that gives me a nice chance to sell into this, looking for a bit more of a sell-off today. So looking to sell Nikkei. We'll set at current price, which is what, 26,708. Let's tighten that up a bit. There we go. Oh, that's perfect. So look at that. Profit at 25,893 and stop at 26,871. And look at that, 5 risk reward, dead on 5, and that makes me really happy. So yeah, keeping the stop just above these highs is quite tight. But to be honest, if this trade is what I want it to be, we shouldn't be getting back up to these levels really. It should be breaking a bit lower soon. So we'll give that a go today, selling the Nikkei, targeting the 78.6 fib.
Excellent, nice one. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at this little bad boy. We've broken out the triangle formation that we were looking at the right sort of time. Although there is a bit of support coming in at 1814, I'm looking for this this sort of like bearish channel to continue downwards. I'm looking to sell it with a tight stop, which will give us sort of like hopefully a little bit of decent risk reward. So only looking obviously for the day, looking to bring the stop in at to around about we'll bring an $8 stop in, and we'll target a move to, oh, maybe I have to have the stop a bit tighter than that. We bring a $6 stop in and get some decent risk reward. That would be a break of the 1805 level, just like getting just below it. So that's what we're looking at on that basis. Selling gold at 1874 or 75, targeting a move to 1803.75 and stop at 1824.75. So that gives us a 2.5 to 1 risk reward.
Nice. Look at that.
Excellent. So finally, we look at what we got in store for us today. We've got 1 o'clock German consumer prices and 2 o'clock the Bank of England Governor Bailey speech. That's before the rest of the events for the week. Tomorrow we've got US PCE prices index and US ISM manufacturing index on July the 1st, the Friday. So that's a bit of a wrap from us. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been informative, and be careful trading out there.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.